Whoa! It's Brent from PathandTarot, the webmaster of the blog and the content creator of this YouTube page. And here we are with another tarot unboxing, Elemental Power Tarot. Let's see if I can get that right in the lights. This is by Melinda Lee Holm, and it is with Cico Books, London, New York. That would be the publisher. So Melinda Lee Holm, Elemental Power Tarot. This is a really strange thing to come across for me. I'll tell you a quick story before we unbox this, because I think it's kind of neat. I'm in the process right now of making my own tarot deck, just for personal use, and maybe more than that, who knows. But in that process, it's been a lot of work, a lot of thinking, a lot of manifesting, dreaming, things like that, all part of the creative process. But in my manifestations, I guess maybe dreams in that even, I've seen these cards. The design is something I've quite literally dreamed of. And when I saw these cards on Amazon, really just, well, last night actually, I bought this and got it delivered today. It was just a weird experience. I immediately bought it. And the other cool thing about this is it's based on elemental power, and that's been another focus of how I was developing the tarot cards, with the idea of the elements. You may have seen the elemental cards that I use already. So that was another very synchronous, strange thing to come across. So this tarot deck, it's almost like I've been dreaming of it for a while now, and it really exists. I don't know what that says, or what it really means, but it means I have this now. It really does exist. So whatever I saw in my dreams manifested in some way, but it manifested in a different way. It's not something that I created, it's something that already exists. How strange. I wanted to share that just to, kind of put that into the realm of how tarot operates on the subconscious level. Maybe even sort of giving some sort of account of how all this occult-like stuff works. Maybe that is would strengthen your conviction for this sort of thing. So there you go. I dreamed it, and here it is. I thought I would make it because I was designing my own deck, but it turns out it already exists. How wild is that? Okay, so here we go. We've got the deck in a box, a really cool box. I love the color, by the way. And another thing, this is the strange thing about this deck, is just everything about this is going to be synchronous. This is going to be a really weird experience. Pardon me. Because this is the same color that I have on my background of my desktop computer, where I've got tarot card images that change randomly. So it's sort of like almost like a personal experiment of using tarot as a background image. You take all the 78 cards, load them up into the desktop background settings of your computer, and just let it randomly change every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, however long you want. Really interesting things happen. But the weird thing is that this exact color was sort of like the frame of it, I guess. So yeah, it's just another strange thing. So we're going to do the unboxing. We'll talk about all the physical aspects of this presentation, really, like the deck, the box, all of it. All of it is part of the initial first experience. And I think that's a cool thing to really talk about, because it's the feel of the cards, the texture, the touch, how it bends, how they feel for the very first time. The more you see things, the more they change and become something new, even though it's the same thing. So I like to capture all of this here. It may seem maybe unorthodox or maybe even long-winded, but you know what? That's a part of it. That's what I want to be able to deliver here as an unboxer of tarot cards. And it almost acts as a review in a way too. You know, we're looking at the cards and giving my opinion, my thoughts on it, my initial thoughts, the immediate thoughts. We'll look at the cards. You don't look at too many cards, you know, for copyright reasons, of course. I'll have all the links below for this. You know, we'll do a reading with the cards. We'll do that. We'll use, I haven't decided that we'll either use the major arcana or the minor arcana cards to do that reading. Just a quick reading, you know, deal with 5 cards. We'll ask something, you can ask something too. You may want to think about what you want to ask, and we'll do that. So here's the shrink wrap. It's off. The box opens like this. Yeah, very cool. I like that. I'll move the knife here. I like that presentation. That it's very nice, very clean. This is great. Like, yeah, just the color. It just really caught me with this color. And we're gonna look at the cards, and I'll show you the part that I sort of envisioned in my head, in my dreams, or my third eye. I don't know what you want to call it, anyways. So it's cool. They've got pictures of the cards on the side of the deck, or Melinda Lee Holm has designed it that way. Who else is involved in this here? Let's take a look. Eliminating human figures entirely, the cards in Elemental Power Tarot present scenes based on the 5 elements. Ooh, cool! So there's no human figures. It's an absence of human figures. That's crazy. That is just like so synchronous. And so this is Rohan Daniel Eason's expressive illustration. So Melinda Lee Holm would have designed this in some way, and this would be illustrated by Rohan Daniel Eason. Not sure who that is. These are people I'm being introduced to, artists, for the first time, and so that's the way I like to do it, because you know I can look at this without any bias. And that's a cool thing to experience and capture. No bias. Over 25 years of study and practice tarot. Melinda Lee Holm. Great. So that's awesome. There's going to be a lot of in-depth experience from Holm brought into this tarot experience. Okay, so here's the guidebook. Great. And then there's, you can see the cards. So I won't go too much into the guidebook. I'm just gonna pretty much the same as what you see on the front of the package, but we won't go through it quickly. I'm just gonna flip through it, see what's in here, see if anything interesting comes up. This came out here in 2020, so this is like brand new. This is incredible. I wonder why I saw it the way I saw it. This is crazy. Okay, what's in here? So it tells you about the elements, some introductions, how to read the cards. Okay, so that's great. This is a complete package, so you know, if this, say, was your first deck, then you have a complete package. So this is great. It's got the card, it's got the Hebrew symbols that are connected with the cards, their correspondence. It's got astrological symbols here as well. This is cool. What's interesting is that they have the outer planets beyond Saturn attributed here to certain tarot cards. So looking at that, that seems to be a artistic choice, like the choice of the creator to make that connection. Other tarot decks have different connections like this, so this seems like more of a planned out choice by the creator to have these relationships, which is very cool. It's all about working with the cards yourself anyway, so these types of connections are meant to enhance the cards through other ways. So we've got Uranus with the Fool by the looks of it. That's cool. Let's see here, what else? Huh. So Neptune goes with the Hanged Man. Pluto goes with Judgment. So that's interesting. So instead of using the elements as Golden Dawn's attributions towards these tarot cards would have air as the Fool. The Hanged Man would have water associated to it, but Neptune's associated to it instead. Neptune is water. What an interesting connection. Judgment should be fire, but it has Pluto. Wow. Uranus is enlightenment. How interesting. Okay, so there's that. That's a really cool thing. So this is going to be quite the deck. And so you basically just have the cards explained, which is really all you need. That's pretty much going to cover the rest of the book. It's just the explanation of the cards. Oh, they look really cool. Oh my god. See, this is nuts. This is exactly how I've designed the cards that I'm going to be working with fairly soon. In this exact way. It's like the whatever I was thinking of spilled out into the collective unconscious membrane of whatever and got into somebody else's head. Or maybe it was the other way around. Maybe I was like receiving it in some way. I don't know. It's hard to even really talk about or explain because it's like, what does all this mean? But anyways, to me, I've already seen these cards in a way. Like I'm familiar with the design already. So we can look at this. We've got a circle, two circles in the border, and this is what I was seeing in my head, like in my dreams. You've a circle, so you can put the astrological symbol. Now you can see it. The astrological symbol and the Hebrew symbol. So you've got them on the card, and so they're connected and tied into the border to keep the contents of the card like inside of it. So it's all connected. And that's a choice that I wanted to make for the deck I was making. You know, for that reason, like it has a symbolic way of allowing these symbols to capture and store the information of the image on the card. And so in other videos I talk about like shrink wrap and stuff and how all that works. There's no shrink wrap in these cards. That's an interesting choice. It's got this plastic band on it that feels like it's on there pretty good. You know, just slide it off. So the package was shrink wrapped and these cards were just in the deck by itself. So they feel a little, a little coarse. They feel a little dusty, and so this is actually a really great example of an ongoing topic about these unboxing is how do the cards feel when you take them out of the package? If they're double shrink wrapped, usually the cards are fairly clean to the touch. In this case, these cards feel like they just have like a little dust on them or something. And so that's something to think about. So yeah, it's cool that we got this as an example. So here's the Fool. Really cool. Whoops. Yeah, so, you know, as described, there's no human figures in these cards. Wow. The Magician. So that's probably a good example of what these cards are going to be like. So I'll show you those two for now, and then we'll just talk about the cards. But what I will do here real quick is just show you the minor arcana cards, because that's where things just get a little weird. Maybe a little too weird for me. It was fairly strange when I saw this. Okay. So let's see if I can find the court cards. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'll get a court card. Alright. So here's what I saw additionally in my dream for the minor arcana cards. You have a circle here and a circle here in that position. For the Roman numeral or Arabic number, and then of course the elemental of whatever the card is. So this is water. You've got an upside down triangle, and then you've got the cups to represent the cups card. So this is the 8 of Cups. Interesting choice for cups actually right now. now that we're doing this reading. Here, let's just read what the Eight of Cups are all about here for this deck. Every deck seems to have a different sort of, I don't know how to say, like an explanation of the card. Emotional stability, Eight of Cups. Interesting. The longevity in elemental water. Okay. But my point is that I saw these two circles like that, attached to the border. I saw it. Just crazy. And really cool design too. Holy smokes. Like, these are really cool cards. Yeah, like if you see this deck, you just get it. Like, it's cool. Very cool so far. And then, of course, you're thinking, well, hey, there's no human figures in these cards. What are the court cards look like? So it's going to be just the symbols of what the court card is, right? So this would be the Knight, as far as I know. Hold on, let's check. I think it's the Knight. Coins. These are coins. Knight. So it goes Page, Knight, Queen, King. So that's how the court cards are set up. So, yeah, holy smokes. Look at that. So there's the Knight. Wow. Okay. So let's get an idea of, like, the size of these cards, because I like to talk about that, because size is important for cards. I'm going to take some water here. How you physically handle the cards, the size kind of can dictate that a bit. So there is a regular playing card, and then here is a makeplayingcard.com default tarot size. Here's Judgment, a deck I printed off very recently that I really like. So here's an idea of the size. These are the elemental cards. So here's the playing card. The default size of what Make Playing Cards considers the tarot size. So it's a lot bigger, a lot fatter, a lot taller. And then here is the size of the elemental power tarot cards. A lot bigger than both. Actually substantially bigger. It's wider and taller. By quite a bit, actually. Well, I mean, not a lot, but it's quite noticeable. So if you look at that, you actually can see how big it really is. Yeah. So it's bigger than your average tarot card. Okay, so let's look at the centimeters. 12 centimeters tall. Just under 7 centimeters wide. So how tall is this? This is like 13 centimeters. So it's like a whole centimeter taller. It's probably a whole centimeter wider. And it is. So it's like 1 centimeter wide and tall, or height. I don't know how to, I don't do math very well. So there you go. A lot bigger. So look at the size of the playing card there. Look at that. See how big that is. So these are pretty big cards. So that's important to know. Depends on the size of your hands. All those things. It'll be okay. You know, I can handle big cards. My hands are, I guess, average size. I don't know. I'm not a tall person or a big person or anything. So my hands are fairly average, so I feel like I could work with these cards. But I do like smaller cards. That is my preference. These Make Playing cards it's like the Goldilocks size of tarot. It feels like it's just, they are the perfect size. They're not too big. They're not too small. All the small cards are cool. They are fun to play with. Like the mini Line Strider cards are pretty awesome. So there you go. So I don't know what we should do. Should we do, oops, I bumped. There you go, some unplanned things in the video. So I wonder if we should do the Major Arcana or the Minor Arcana for the reading here. So I think we've covered everything we can talk about here with the cards. Like, they feel, like the cardstock feels really good. It's just a lot bigger than some of the other decks that I normally use. But the back design is really, really cool, symmetrical. So it's not evident if the card is up or down when you're shuffling. And I think that's important. Having a symmetrical back design is good. I think that's probably one of the better artistic choices for when you're designing a tarot deck is to have that, so you can't really tell, or it doesn't really affect how you're seeing the cards, because all that really comes into play, you know, is dealing with all these small details. I feel like we should do, yeah, we're gonna do the let's do the major arcana cards. Yeah, just, you know, 20 plus cards here. 22 cards. Yep, we'll do that because I think you'll want to see what these cards look like because they're pretty cool. Holy smokes. And really the minor arcana cards, you know, the pip cards, they're going to be similar to other decks that you've experienced. Like, say, for example, this deck, the CBD Tarot deck, Conver Ben Dove deck, based on the Tarot de Marseille design, where you've got your court cards. They're just symbols. So they're like that in this deck. So knowing that kind of gives you an idea already of what those cards look like. You saw a picture of the cups. They're pretty much like that as far as I can see. I'll just flip through them again. Yep, I mean, it's pretty much like that, just like really cruel, not cruel, cool, really cool designs on all of them. Like, it's fantastic. This is an incredible deck already. Like, it's weird. Like, I try not to like put my preference into these videos. I try to be objective, but like, you know, when I see something that looks great, I mean, it's hard to contain yourself. It's just like, wow, some art is just striking. So we're gonna basically just take the majors, the trumps, just mix them up, do reading with those cards, and that's a legit way of doing your tarot reading. Is you know, you can do something like that. You can change the size of the deck. You can alter it. You can do really whatever you want to, right? I mean, there's no rules in how to use the cards. There's just methods. Is one method better than the other? I don't know. What's the purpose of why are you using that method? What are you trying to accomplish, right? Those are the questions that can help define how to use the cards. And so we're just going to use the major arcana cards and do a quick reading. You know, we've got about 9 minutes left here in the video, and see what we can find out. It's hard to know what to ask for sometimes, but what I'm going to ask for, what I'll ask of the cards is, what am I missing right now to get to the next phase of this channel? I've asked this question a few times, so it's going to be interesting to see how this question is answered over time. So what is the next step for the channel? And so ask yourself, ask a different question. What do you want to ask? You can ask anything you want. So what we'll do is we just take the cards, draw them off, and we'll just do a cross shape. It's good to work with shapes when you do a tarot reading. And you can make up whatever spread you want. You can have these places mean certain things, these positions. So we'll do something to the effect of the center card will be what, you know, the current circumstance, and then the card here, these left and right will be the past and the future. I think we can do that, and then the up and down will be like the possibilities. I can go possible directions. So you're looking down like this, I'm looking that way, so I'm going to draw the card out here to the star. Ooh, cool. And I'm going to draw a card out like this to the top and just go in a circle like that. And there we go. And then draw a card here in the center. So there we go. We've got, hopefully you can see this in the camera here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think you can see it. The Hierophant here in the center, so the current circumstance is like the Hierophant. So interesting. It's like a sort of gotten to a higher level of knowledge in my understanding of tarot and what I'm doing here on this channel. Your divine nature is reaching out for guidance. Interesting. And yes, I feel like I'm doing that too. So this is cool. This guidebook is interesting. I think it's got some good stuff in here. So the future has the star. Interesting. So it's like I will become a star. The past, I was the emperor, so I sort of evolved into the Hierophant in a way, so I had control over my domain. Been hard at work with this channel, maintaining things, keeping the social media fires burning. It's a lot of work to do that, really. Even just one brand, like one thing, right? You spread across all these social media channels just to keep them active and make content for them is quite time consuming. So maybe that's what the Emperor is kind of saying. I was hard at work developing my empire in that way, and then the Empress has the Chariot and the Empress are sort of here as possibilities of going in that way. Unknown. These are unknown, but this is known. So the star is in front of me. So I'm the star of this video. How about that? And the Chariot. So I can almost take the Chariot and go into the future in a different way, into the unknown, where I've got victory as a possibility. The Empress. Not sure about how the Empress is existing at this point here, but I feel like it has something to do with the growth that's developed underneath me, maybe. So I've got chariots that I can use to enter different planes of existence. I don't know, but then the Empress is saying that I've got like a good foundation, because this is kind of cool. The card almost really suggests that too, like vines growing. There's something there to stand on. That's a good message, I think, and I think an interesting reading. There's a lot more here because there's a lot of cool things in these pictures, but we're just about out of time there. And I wonder what you asked for your question, and I wonder how this quick reading here helped answer that, or didn't answer that. Maybe it didn't. Write in the comments below what you think. There'll be some more links in the comments too to the blog. I don't know why I said two twice, 3 times, to the blog, to learn more about tarot if you want. There's also other topics as well on the blog too, so definitely check that out. You found me on the socials on all the major platforms here, so use those links below as well. But other than that, that will do it for this reading. Stay well read, and I'll see you next time.